Hi, it's Shauna, and this is day 2 of me painting my kitchen. So, let's get things situated first. Hang on. So, what's really cool is I have this, and I have like just enough paint to do what I'm doing. So, I'm not using any of this. That's what's funny about this whole thing, is that there are like hairnets and there are like aprons to paint and everything. So, despite the fact that I've already started painting, I think we should put on the proper PPE. Try to block out that giant light. So, as you guys, well, you may or may not know, depends on where I upload this. Um, but I have lived in my apartment for 8 years, and while we are on a list to get moved, mainly to a unit that's just smaller and a little bit cheaper, over the years I've like gotten, paint, different things like to do like little maintenance upkeep. Normally, like if you move, pretty often, you don't really have to worry about it. Once you're in a place for a little bit, depending on how quickly they maintain, I ended up finding myself just like finding things that I wanted to take care of myself, that I knew like they wouldn't, do, which I understand that too. And also there's just like the opportunity to move into a updated unit. But sadly, life doesn't always allow for you to just up and move. So what I have been doing is essentially doing a move in, move out deep clean, for various reasons. Right now, my focus is to, so I did do like patching and things like that in here, like before I actually decided to paint, and I didn't want to leave it like that, like, regardless of being priced out or whatever. I have been a good tenant. There's no like things that have to be fixed, like when I say patching, like little things like on like the edge like of the walls right here, like those kind of things, like little filler or like tack holes and stuff. So, I'm not using any tape except for like a little bit of washi tape. And I'm using, like, I do have a roller and I'll break that out later, but I am literally using this super tiny, this little bitty thing right here. Um, Now, like I said, this is definitely like something that I don't have to take on, but I know like I will feel better. And also, it's just, it's something to do. It's something to keep my brain and keep accountability, keep, trying to raise the bar, even if the bar is under the foundation. Okay, so judgment free zone, everybody. So, like, everything is all just kind of piled up over here. Remember, this apartment is very, very old. It looks horrible right now because I took everything apart. Um, I have to fix this also. That's something completely different. It just like fell off of the front. Need to rebond that. But I'm gonna mark this at, okay, 25. Here's the pan over of like the before. Now I already did work on this wall, but um, people wanted to see like the before and after. I will go like and take acetone and remove this. You can see like the gloss on the wall. This wall, it was matte, and also The caulking, I just cleaned it really well, and I just repainted over it, and I'm going to put clear sealant over that. With this being the wall that like the sink and everything is on, I'm not trying to do all that. No, definitely not. So moving on, so like here's an area that I did patch right here. Did a decent job. I mean, it is what it is. And then there's like various areas over here. I'm not gonna sit there and babysit all that. So I already did paint this wall, like going like back around it. Under the light, it looks good. I took the light switch covers off. You can tell, like, also, like, because this is gloss, like, I painted over here. You can also see, like, where I stopped and everything. I'm stripping off, like, the paint off the light switches and the power switches, and I have new switches to put up, or switch covers, rather. This right here actually was really bad. So the dishwasher is right here, and this right here, this piece like pulled up off of here. You can see like where it bowed from like the steam coming from the dishwasher. So I just like stuck a nail. I know, and I have a nail gun, but I don't have like tools, and I don't know what I'm doing. And again, I know this is most likely a paper kind of, you know, drywall issue. So I just like secured it as well as I could to get it flush. I am using clear caulking. I use caulking for like making fake food, not for doing home repairs like you're supposed to. So what I did is I used clear right here, just like to kind of like get it to set, and also kind of practice on what I'm doing. And I have two different, I have like regular white caulking, and then I have a gray. Um, and I don't know if I want to mess with that gray. But regardless, like this will be white. And then over here, okay, so like I just took the switch off. It is really like horrible. Right over here, you can like see like this is actually like a lot of this excess paint was already here like when I moved in, and so I could kind of disregard it whenever I moved in because I was not paying nearly what I'm paying right now. And that's like kind of another thing too, right? So, like you can see like up here, like where they like painted and they didn't like fill it in, they just like caulked it shut. So I just came back over with caulking. I'll get like a blade and clean all this up, and finish painting that. I did get up there, just kind of like to, oh, what's it called? Like when you like spread the paint out a little bit. I do not know what those stains are up there. I'm gonna see if they come off with a steam cleaner. Hopefully they do. And I did steam clean a lot before I started all this. So anyway, and then next, the baseboards are terrible. This like came up, like one of these came up, and like this right here, it's sharp, it's stupid. Like if I had like something to put, because I'm gonna have to clean all this out. But anyway, I'm gonna tack all of this down with a nail gun, and I have this gray that I'm gonna use for the baseboards. Yeah, I know they're horrible, but like I said, this is not my place. This is it's not. I'm not gonna invest a bunch of money into apartment aesthetic. I figure some new paint and everything like that. Make sure we have everything cleaned up. Like clean all the wood really good, dry it out, have a clean base, and start over. So I know it's not a big deal, but it will be something. And it's 8 years due. So, Anyways, I know this was not one of the best videos I've ever made. And I know I'm not really doing anything. Just, trying to be a human, trying to remember, you know, uh, not to let so much of the outside world just kind of keep you in the throes of keeping yourself from doing anything. It's really, really easy. I am currently going through it with just like many of you, and I'm not immune. And, you know, it's easy to lose. I know I have lost a lot of interest in just basic hobbies, much less, doing anything, excuse me, doing anything creative for myself. That's been like pulling teeth. You have to find a way to balance it. You have to. And remember that there are people out there that are still good people, that are looking out, that are the helpers. But also be aware of, if it seems too good to be true, sadly, there's a lot of good out there. At the same time, there can also be a lot of bad. So just, try to do your best to discern between the two and, go accordingly. There's a lot going on, not just where I am, but in the world. I know, me sitting here painting my kitchen is not changing anything. I'm not helping the housing crisis. I'm not helping food insecurity. I'm not the woman with the microphone, but I do know that whenever I am given the opportunity to help other people, which we do a lot of that. If you've ever seen like any of my donation videos, where it's not me going and like showing like the people and stuff like that. It's just like making donation bags and getting them dropped off, and working with different people in the community to make those little things happen. And making sure that we also remember what we have, appreciate what we have, be humble for what we have, grateful for what we have. I'm not trying to be all preachy or anything like that. I know how easy it is to turn out the world and turn away from this and the third, and just duck out and want to hide and not deal with, the possibility that this, that, or the other could happen. After you start letting that dictate what you're doing through your days, yeah, I know that looks terrible. It's the first coat. We'll work on it. But once you let that start ruling your days, the fear, the panic, all of it, it gets even harder to get out of it. That's all I mean. And, you know, coming, you know, from someone who does understand, I do understand. And, you know, between all the donations to all the fundraisers for the clothing drives and everything, the need is huge. Especially like with summer right now, because we have school and that's another thing that I would like to talk about one day, when I'm not talking about like my kitchen or this or the other. But I did want to put like some kind of commentary on here, other than, that's so gross, other than, you know, just this, that, and the other. And also just kind of welcome you guys to just a little bit of, I don't really post a lot on YouTube. My YouTube channel originally was like for like my business and things like that. It eventually turned into a kind of an advocacy channel regarding missing children and keeping cases and things like that in the spotlight. Eventually it would graduate to not, you know, like kind of like different playlists. I would start doing music reviews and things like that again. Doing interviews with, you know, all different types of artists, not, you know, huge big name artists, just all different types of artists. And living in Nashville kind of affords you a couple of cool opportunities if you know where to go. And also in doing that, there's a lot of charity that goes in with those communities, and that right there that's the golden ticket. Not the people, the like I said, like the opportunities that, you know, like names bring in for other events and fundraisers and so on, and getting, you know, the word of mouth around and all that. It's really important. And it's also, like I said, it's also really important that we're vigilant on those who may not have our best interest at heart. That's all. So while I sit here and detail paint with this little thing, I do have a roller. Like I said, I will bust that out once I get like all these little like meets. And yes, that was a horrible job. I've never painted over silicone. And worst case, I'll just take a cloth and wipe it right off. Who even knows if the wall's built up? We learn, right? We learn. I grew up in Hurricane Alley in 1980. I think I roofed the first time I ever re-roofed a house was I was 15, so 1995. I grew up in Hurricane Alley, so I know how to like put drywall up and like float and tape and sand and all that stuff, but I don't think I know how to paint. But I'm doing it. So anyways, I'm gonna pause this, or rather set this down. I need to get this sewn up. 2 days, come on now. And I don't know where I'll upload this. It depends on where I'm gonna upload an almost 20-minute video. And like I said, I can't wait to like put everything back up and like have everything framed out the way it's supposed to be, the way it should look. And be able to come back and show you guys, one day at a time, and I know that is easier said than done, and it sounds like a bunch of big book talk, but seriously, one day at a time, you guys, and find the helpers. They're out there, and some of them are a little leery. It's due diligence, and that there are also people who are going to take advantage. We got to find the balance. I'm going to find the balance with this brush. Have a great day. I love you guys.